This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bauer.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
Les, you seem surprised to be here today.
Well, you know, I'm still recovering from the movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
From the Snooze
process.
Fest. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got some rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did
On
take
paper,
a nice long nap after watching this, but I just didn't have a good night's sleep, to be fair.
Did you really?
I took an hour and a half nap.
Did it like
Maybe that's what I'll do. I have trouble sleeping
suck
sometimes.
the life out of you?
No, honestly, like my body's been exhausted, and I woke up really early today, and I didn't need to. And so after I watched this, and I was already kind of drowsy, I just took a nice nap.
Yeah, this would put you to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
On
got
paper,
my-
this movie should have been a home run.
It should have been. We had a lot of things going for The Merry Gentlemen. We had our good friend Meredith Thomas in the movie, who was great in the movie.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
you had
I knew 3 people in the movie.
Oh, really? Besides Meredith, who else
Yes.
did you know?
So, my friend Mark was Roger.
Oh,
Oh, that's Roger.
you know
Okay.
Roger? Ooh, hook it up.
Interesting.
Yes, I know. I've known Roger for like years.
Roger.
Probably like close to 20 years. I've
Roger's
known
very
Mark.
cute.
Oh, okay.
He used to be a bartender in the before it was before it was Chapel, it was Here Bar.
Oh, you Here Lounge, yeah.
He was a bartender at Here
Oh,
Lounge.
then
That's how long I've known him.
probably been waited on by him.
Oh, you probably have.
Yeah.
And you know, I was friends with him even before that, and he was working at Here Bar, and he left Here Bar because he got a contract on General Hospital, and he was on General Hospital for years.
Okay.
And then who else did you know?
And Maxwell Caulfield,
How do you know Maxwell Caulfield?
because I'm friends with his daughter.
So
He's my friend Melissa's dad.
Now, who was Maxwell Caulfield in the movie? He wasn't the older guy, was he?
He was the older guy, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, was he?
not
Wow.
Michael Gross, the other older guy.
The
Okay.
one that
I-
joined the dance
yeah.
troupe.
All right, I didn't even because Maxwell Caulfield was the one who was in Empire Records,
Was he?
Grease 2.
He was in Grease
Was he?
2, for
was
sure.
in Grease 2,
Dynasty
yes.
2, The Colbys.
Okay, I
Yes.
thought he was in Empire Records as well.
He may have been. I mean, it's been
He may have
years
been.
since I've seen that. Was he
Yeah,
the guy that owned it?
No, he was like the rock star guy that shows up.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, had an okay
So, yeah.
cast. You got Chad Michael Murray from One Tree Hill and Gilmore Girls. You got
Okay.
Michael Gross, the dad from
Yeah.
Family Ties. You got Marla
Tremors.
Sokolof from Full House and The Practice, and Beth Broderick.
Well, who was from The Practice?
Marla Sokolof. She played Lucy on The Practice, the receptionist.
Oh, wait.
She's
That was
the older
sister?
sister. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't look up any of these people. I let it be a surprise. Yeah, I recognize her because I did used to watch The Practice many years ago. I recognize her. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good for her. Who was
And
the
the thing
mother?
is-
The mother
Beth
was this, like,
Broderick.
fragile
Beth-
woman.
Beth Broderick
Beth
from
Broderick.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Okay, she was kind of like fragile.
There was she's definitely a oh gosh, what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow's mom.
Oh, Blythe Danner.
Blythe Danner. She's a Blythe Danner type. Like if they were
Yeah.
casting a Blythe Danner type and Blythe weren't available, they would have hired Beth Broderick.
I think Blythe is dead.
No, she's
Isn't she?
not. Very much
Is-
alive.
no.
Look that up.
She's very much alive,
not
Kurt. I'm not
dead.
even looking it up. I 100% know that she is alive.
Dead. Life dead.
Unless something
think
happened in
they're
the
in
last hour.
Well, then their dad passed away.
Your dad passed
Yeah,
away.
her dad passed away. Yes.
I'm just making that up to make sure.
Yeah, her
No,
dad
she
passed
is alive. She's 81. Yeah, the dad passed away a while ago, 2002.
Indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
But it says Life Downer leaves Hampton's charity event by ambulance. This is like in the news right now.
Well, if she's 80 something.
Yeah, but this might. I wasn't. Okay. Well,
Just to
we're rooting for it.
timestamp this, because this will come out in a couple of days after we record it. We're recording this on Tuesday, November 26th. This is going to come out on Black Friday. So,
Black Friday.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Now,
Well,
the only thing. Now, here's the thing about this movie, too. The acting itself, the acting was not bad.
No.
This was a boring script.
I agree. I blame it mostly on I don't even know if it's the script. Maybe editing. I don't know. I guess the script, because my biggest problems with this were that they kind of got into these guys being dancers way too quickly with no real on ramp to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, that seems like that should have been the big climactic moment of the movie is this performance.
Yeah, I was surprised that they were performing so early. I'm like, well, what are they going to do now? I don't have nothing to compare this to. I never saw the Full Monty. I never saw Magic Mike.
What?
Both are very good. And I'm not saying that because of the shirtlessness. Both are actually really good movies.
Well, I should see the Full Monty. This movie came out 1997. I just never saw it. And yeah,
Jason Dubray, please make Kurt watch the Full Monty.
Oh, I have an idea for Jason Dubray. Because, he does those themes. Jason Dubray could do a theme of guys stripping movies.
Yes.
And Jason Dubray and I are going to discuss those movies?
Yes, why not? No, legitimately, Magic Mike 1, Magic Mike 1 is directed by Soderbergh. It's got a good script. It's actually a good movie.
He directed me in The Nick. I played a bartender in an episode of The Nick.
Nice.
But enough about me. There's also a movie called Heaven with Christopher Atkins, right? Where he's like a male stripper.
I saw that movie.
Yeah. So I never saw that either.
Jason Dubray, please make Kurt watch male stripper movies.
No, that's all right.
That's a theme I could get on board with doing. I would invest in many movies for that podcast.
Yes, and make him watch 6 movies, Jason. Nope, Dubray. Thank you.
Too busy. Oscar season's coming. We don't have time for that. We never will. So I do have Eric Roberts' book. I got it from the library now. I'll be giving the Lifetime Hallmark Book Club. I'll be reading this.
Okay.
Have you started?
No, I haven't even opened it up yet. I just got it today.
Yes, I would love to hear pearls of wisdom from.
I'll be reporting back. Yeah.
From the actor's actor.
For 50 cents, I got the novel of Wicked. If I had kids and they wanted to go see Wicked, I'd say, no. First, you have to sit home and read the novel. And
it's not a book for kids.
They would appreciate that.
It's not a book for kids.
Okay. Well, I have it now. And I'd like to congratulate Jean Benet, who is doing very well.
What?
No, we're doing very well in the entertainment industry today. Her TV series documentary is #1. Les Kirkendall Barrett worked with John Benet. She was a dramaturge on one of his shows. So you're familiar with the right, Les?
What the hell are you talking about?
Benet.
Oh no, that's John Bennett. I'm sorry.
I was like John Bennett.
Yeah, John Bennett. She's got a documentary and it's #1. And this movie is the #1 movie on Netflix. So
this one?
Married Gentlemen is, yeah.
#1 series. Yeah. John Benet's got the #1 series, the documentary.
But what about Queen Lacey's movie?
I think it was #1 last week.
Married Gentlemen is #1 today.
Lacey's movie came out first, so I think that had already had its moment in the sun.
America has failed us. Or is Netflix really is that when they say #1, is that in the US or is that worldwide?
No, I think it's worldwide.
It usually tells you. It'll say #1 in the US, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to take a look again. All right, so that's what's going on in the charts.
Right, well, who our #1 is, Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, let me see. I had this article. I think this was putting a virus on my computer. All right, so no, it's a good thing because I did find an article about Tokyo Toni defending P. Diddy. And that article got a little bit hairy. So I'm going to read a very kind-hearted article in honor of Thanksgiving week. So it's a Pink Villa is the website. This is by Shreya Patnaik. Well, anyway, Blac Chyna is just so grateful for every minute. She flaunts her daughter Dream's impressive dance moves on Monday, November 26th, which was yesterday. Wait, I think I might be got the wrong year again. No, it says it's 27th.
What year?
It says it's 2024. All right, this is from this.
But today, as we record this, is the 26th.
They made the mistake. This is
so. Is this from the future?
It says it's updated November 27th, 2024. Which is
what country
tomorrow.
Of origin is this story?
Yes,
because it could be the 27th.
UK.
I don't know, but I think it's putting some weird virus.
I'd rather hear the other story anyway.
I want to hear the Tokyo Toni story.
Right,
yeah, Tokyo Toni and P. Diddy. Come on, that's a better story.
Yeah, but it's. All right, so here's the article. This is from sportskita.com. Why is everybody mad at Puff? She's asking. Let's see. Yeah, so Tokyo Toni claims Diddy was set up, believes his victims shouldn't have been there in the first place. Let's see. Well, you want me to keep going?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not the problematic one. I think
we didn't say it.
We're reveling in the chaos.
Okay, so model TV personality, rapper, and socialite Blac Chyna's mother, Tokyo Toni, recently got candid about Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing legal troubles and claimed he was set up and demanded his freedom. We know what's happening, the real ones. Yeah, free Puffy. Get them on out of here. Why is everybody mad at Puff? Every celebrity in the world in the United States point a finger to the man that they know did this 5, 10, 15 years ago. What a setup. Tokyo Toni.
Wait.
Well, okay, I think they try to explain that a little more. Okay, so this article has references to sexual assault, abuse, and rape, and more. There's more. So the 52-year-old.
Am I understanding that Tokyo Toni's reasoning isn't that Puff is innocent? It's that everybody knew about this long ago. So why are we talking about it? Is that her reasoning?
Right.
Yeah. All right. I'll try to clean this up a little bit so we don't have this.
So she's like, well, it's
triggers.
not like it didn't happen. It happened, but it happened a long time ago.
Get over it.
That's what she's saying.
Tokyo Toni.
She went on to add that for some reason, people are still unable to snatch Diddy, and any girl who repeatedly had issues with P. Diddy shouldn't have been there. Tokyo Toni, whose real name is Shalana Jones Hunter, also expressed doubt about the alleged victims of Diddy and asked, so nobody saw him leaning? I don't understand what that means.
Leaning?
So nobody saw him leaning? You ain't voluntarily walked. They just grabbed you and snatched you and threw you in the back. She's getting away with this because no one understands what she's saying. She wrapped up by saying how the exact same thing happened in the case of R. Kelly, the former record producer and convicted felon who was sentenced over 30 years in prison for federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges in 2019. I was going to skip this article. All right, that's about it for Tokyo. And then it goes more about what's happening with
Tokyo.
It's problematic.
Toni needs her own show on OAN right now because she cray. Wow.
Tokyo.
She's really causing a lot of trouble for Blac Chyna.
Yes.
Yeah. And for victims everywhere. Oh.
Yes.
Tokyo Toni.
It's not funny.
No, it's not funny. I wanted to do the story though because the chaos that she sort of stirs up for herself is fascinating.
I'm still wrapped up in the it happened, but it was a long time ago. Like that whole. Well, I did read that for Thanksgiving dinner, Puff Daddy is going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because that's what they're serving in jail that day.
I don't believe that. In jail, they do serve like Thanksgiving stuff.
I mean, what do you have to give thanks for behind bars?
Yeah.
He might be vegan. He might be like vegetarian, so he's not going to eat turkey.
I don't think that they have real turkey.
Yeah,
Any people in the country who are listening, if we're wrong, please write in and correct us and let us know. What you
if
had
they're
for dinner.
serving turkey, it would be real turkey.
Yeah, I think they do that.
It's frankly less expensive to do real turkey than it is the faux stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Could people listen to our show? Could people listen to our show in jail? Do they get like access to?
Listen, if you're in jail or in the penitentiary and listening, please drop us a line at Instagram is Lifetime of Hallmark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to bail you out, but you know it's.
Well, no, like if they're in prison, they're there for a while. They're beyond the bail.
Yeah.
I don't think they get podcasts. Like they have like sort of a communal TV. Things like that, but I don't know that. I don't know if they have a communal podcast listening device.
No, but if they do, then they all might be sitting around listening to this.
Well, listen, if you're listening, like I said, drop us a line, say hello.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, what's that Tokyo Toni? I agree.
You forget, I worked in radio for many years and have actually had listeners from behind bars reaching out. It's a little weird.
Oh, like fan mail?
Yeah.
Oh,
fan mail. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go. Well, hey, drop us a line if you're listening.
Well,
let us know.
Yes.
Drop Les a line. And let us know what you thought of The Merry Gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Oh. You're going to read my book. Well, there's some. Eric Roberts is a really handsome guy. Look at this picture.
Yeah, Eric Roberts back in the day.
Yeah, he was. No, he was totally.
Man.
I loved when Kurt realized what kind of movie we were watching. And I'm like, and Jason's like, Kurt, we've discussed this.
No, I acknowledge when there's a good looking guy. I acknowledge like a handsome man. I saw this picture of Eric Roberts. I said, hey, there you go.
Are you disappointed Eric Roberts wasn't shirtless in The Merry Gentleman?
No, I am. Yeah. A young Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
But, identify as straight. But I'm secure enough.
Straight, but a gay icon.
No, gay icon, ally, and I'm secure enough to say if another man is handsome.
Yeah.
So now that we have that settled,
well, let's talk about some handsome men.
Yeah.
Well, that one guy, the bartender guy, looks like one of the Menendez brothers.
Even though Chad Michael Murray had abs for days, I didn't think he looked great in this movie, and I thought he was miscast.
He had a butter face, actually.
Yeah, well, like the entire movie, his character, what's his name? Ryan Kyle? What's his name?
I wrote it down many places.
Luke.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, he's always talking about how the female character, Ashley, is a city girl. And he was always like turning his nose up at the like city people. But he has like highlighted blonde hair. Like he looks like the most stereotypical LA guy in the history of movies. And they're trying to pass him off as like he's this country boy that's just like a small town type of guy.
And the entire time he had like a grimace on his face.
Yeah.
Like he grimaced the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him. So did I. The whole time I watched this movie, I grimaced.
Same girl.
So he's the character I could relate to.
So we're in New York. We're in a Broadway show.
We should point out this is from Hybrid. Yeah, Hybrid did the movie.
Yes. So that's probably why Meredith, because Meredith does mostly hybrid movies, right?
I mean, yeah, they do a ton of Lifetime stuff, so that would make sense.
Yeah. So Hybrid is branch. I love how like our Lifetime and Hallmark peeps are branching out.
Yeah.
Into Netflix. And why not?
#1 movie. Meredith Thomas is in the #1 movie right now.
Yes. So we're in New York. We're at a Broadway show. It's Christmas. And at first I wrote The Rocky Rockettes, but they're probably not the Rockettes, but they're
I
very
don't think it was
Rockettes.
supposed to be. Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be that.
I think it was supposed to be like that similar kind of show, because this is a long-running holiday show with female dancers with long legs called Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good question. That brings up a good point. This show is not going to run all year, then, is it?
Right, exactly. And that's one of my issues.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big problem with this movie then.
Oh, there were many.
That's why Grimace is a selfish asshole.
Okay, let's continue, because there's a couple. Well,
it just makes many of the characters just dumbasses.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she probably makes enough money during that stint to like sustain her for the year. Gigs like that, like seasonal gigs like that, pay extremely well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
because
it's like a month and a half. Because right now on Broadway is Elf, and Elf's playing for like a month and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like the Rockettes' Christmas is Spectacular. That's like a month and a half, 2 months.
But they like compensate you though for like, you make good money for that time.
Oh yeah, well,
so
okay, money.
So they're dancing.
Big money, but yeah,
she gets a standing. So it's a group of the ladies. Ashley's like the center lady.
Yeah.
They finish. They get a standing ovation. She did a great job. She didn't mess up or anything. And she's talking to her co-workers afterwards, the other ladies, and somebody introduces her to Shelby, and they said, "This is Shelby. Shelby's joining the show." And I wrote, "Watch out, Ashley." And Shelby had that young, hungry starlet look that would steal your job.
Young, hungry would steal your job. Starlet, though?
Well, okay, because I was going to say she was all about Evish. She had that vibe.
Well, I mean, they were trying to sort of paint her as such, but I was like, this girl's not a star.
She's a star, baby. Do you have it? And she says, yes. Well, she was age shaming.
Right, because then Ashley gets a message that Jody, the boss, wants to see her, and Ashley goes to Jody's office, and I said, "Hi, Meredith," because that was our friend Meredith Thomas.
Yes, it was.
So it wasn't Jody.
And Meredith was not so nice in this movie.
No, we're gonna have to. We have to have a talk with her because she can't go firing people because they're old.
Right.
That woman's not even that old. How old is she supposed to be?
Well, she'd been doing the show for 12 years, so I'm guessing she's in her 30s.
Like late 30s.
Which, probably not even late 30s.
No, I didn't think so.
Like, dancers are generally pretty young, although the Rockettes, like, they do that gig forever.
Forever. Because aren't there women that are even in their 50s during the Rockettes?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Might as well.
Yeah. So Meredith, she goes talking to Meredith, and Meredith age shames her and fires her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Meredith, I am surprised at you.
Yeah, it's not like it's ballet. I mean, you could keep doing that for a while.
They did justify it by she's been kind of screwing up lately.
Right.
You know, because that new hip.
It's out of line.
Like every time you do that kick, your foot hits your walker.
So then on her way out, and it was like not only was she fired, it was like effective immediately.
Yeah.
Like you're out.
Yeah.
Like right before Christmas.
They should have had like a security guard escort her out.
Like,
I would have loved that, and also that thing you always see in movies where they've got like a lone cardboard box of all their belongings. I just love the idea of it escorted out of this show, but she's still got like an office box,
like a box full of shoes.
Yeah.
So on her way out, Ashley tells Shelby, "Don't get old."
Yeah. And then she screamed like Elphaba.
So then it's snowing. Ashley's at home watching Netflix. Second movie that they shout out their own movies.
Yeah.
Her mom calls, And her mom is like, guess what? We're coming to visit you for Christmas. Now, this was a part of the movie that I actually liked because instead of, them coming to town and her pretending like she had a job, she was actually honest with them about it and said, no, I'll come home and see you, and told them that she was fired.
Yeah.
So she goes home. And as she's landing, she gets a text from one of her show friends saying that the new girl is awful. And then she's taking a cab. The cab driver is very nice and cute.
Very cute.
And she gets out of the cab, and there's a man on a ladder, and she bumps into the ladder and then gets wrapped up in the Christmas wreath. So this is to, I guess, show that she's wacky.
Oh, they had a couple of unnecessary pratfalls. This is one of them. And they called it a Christmas wreath later in the movie. That's not a wreath. That's a garland.
Garland, right. Yeah.
A wreath would be just like a single ring. And if she got caught in it, it'd be like, she'd be stuck in it.
She'd be hung.
Yeah.
So then he helps her. She goes into the rhythm room, which I recognized as the Elks Lodge in Van Nuys.
So it was the Elks Lodge. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they give the Elks Lodge actually at the end of the movie. It gets in the credits. It gets a special thanks.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Jason and I have been there.
Yeah, we've been there because they do a lot. Like basically, anytime you see a bar or restaurant scene in a Lifetime movie, chances are they filmed it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our friend Meredith Thomas is a member of the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
But they dressed it up. It looked nice.
Yeah, it looked really, because I love how they always make it look huge because it's not that big.
Yeah. I think it's set up well, though, for filming. Like, it just happens to be that, like, just the perfect amount of open space.
Yeah. So, her parents run, it's her parents' bar. And so her parents come out, and her mom is from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and her dad is the dad from Family Ties.
The Michael Gross, yeah. Mr. Keaton.
Yes. And then there's a guy sitting at the bar, and it's Maxwell Caulfield.
He's doing a crossword.
Right. Okay. And then there's a hot bartender. Mm-hmm. And we find out their water isn't working. And we also find out that the parents don't have a lot of money.
The water was working. It was when you would turn on the water, there'd be a geyser of dirty water shooting up out of the drain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the water pressure was good.
Yeah.
I mean, something was fucked up with the water for sure.
Okay. Now, where was this? Like, how far away from New York was this?
They never said. She had to fly there, though.
Yeah, she took flight.
To the fly. All right. I thought I missed it. But I guess it was never mentioned.
And then they talk about the mom talks about this nice young man who helps them with their repairs, and then he comes in, and it's the guy from the ladder, and that's Luke. And he immediately starts in about giving her shit for being a city girl.
I also like that the Ashley is sort of questioning, like, well, how could you have let all this stuff go for so long? And the mom says something along the lines of, like, the landlord keeps raising the rent, and there's no acts coming here anymore. But we're just happy that it's like a place for people to gather. I'm like, they're more concerned about that than fixing these like very obvious health code violations.
Right.
Well, some people really do have their head in the clouds.
Oh yeah. I do feel like this movie had a bit of a missed opportunity because this club, they kept talking about how it had this history of all these like rock bands coming through there and was like a big rock club. Like they could have leaned into that club's history a little bit more to give this movie a little more weight.
Right.
They could have had some old bands come back. Men Without
like
Hats.
Rick Springfield or something.
Yeah.
Romeo Void.
Or like maybe the parents' heads were in the clouds because they did a lot of drugs with Jimi Hendrix.
Well,
Yeah, they were definitely I don't know, burnout. I think that's the word. Michael Gross.
So then the mom, her mom is like hinting that Luke is single. And so then Ashley falls again for no reason.
Really?
Then they go to
she's a fall risk. They need to put like one of those bracelets on her.
Also, like, she's a professional dancer and she doesn't have any balance. No wonder she was fired from that job.
Right.
Like, she does a high kick and she's just like falling over on stage. It's a liability. Meredith had to fire her.
No, she's right.
Yeah.
I think she's had her time.
Yeah.
So then she goes to the town diner because her sister owns it.
Owns it, yeah. But did the last movie we watched somebody's sister owned a diner?
See a lot of that in these movies.
Yeah, everyone's sister owns a diner.
Yeah. Well, it used to be everyone's aunt or mother owned a diner. So I guess they're like venturing out.
Okay, it's next generation.
So then she walks into the diner, and yes, my friend Mark walks up.
But Mark thinks he's a celebrity because he played high school football.
Yes.
You see that a lot in these small towns. That's actually a nice acknowledgement.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's his credit.
So Ashley's talking to her sister, and then this is where it's like, okay, so this is Ashley is a city girl because the sister ordered something, and Ashley said, "No, I'll have a salad."
Yeah.
But also rude to just order for somebody.
Right.
Well, she's ordering a double cheeseburger, and then she has to eat like a huge cookie. Isn't that what it was? It looked
right. Yes.
Kurt,
would you have eaten that cookie?
I'm trying to be on the Mediterranean diet now. I told you. So there's going to be blowback if you talk about sweets. But
I didn't think that cookie looked good. I did not.
But I don't. I can't. I still might have a sweet. But no, it didn't look like a cookie. I'm not sure what it was.
Well, it was some sort of peppermint something cookie. So I think it was like a sugar cookie
gross.
base and had chocolate and other. It was too big to be a cookie.
No,
and that sounds gross with like peppermint and chocolate. I don't like that.
Nah.
So they're talking about how the rhythm room is in trouble, and then Luke shows up, and he then calls her City Girl again, and.
Yeah, that place wasn't that rural either. So I don't know what he's talking about, City Girl. When you saw like an overhead shot of that town, that was kind of a
they had traffic.
Also, like when they start attracting people to this bar, it eventually like draws enough of a crowd where you're like, well, they can't all be locals.
Right. And there was definitely a traffic jam.
Yeah.
But like he shames her because she wants to go to her sister's house and take her bags there, and she's like, "I'll call an Uber," and he totally shames her.
Yeah.
Why is that? What, he didn't like the Uber part?
No, because they don't have them. In a small town, you can't really get an Uber easily. Like they exist, but you might wait half an hour to get it.
Yeah. So he totally shames her for it, which she wasn't being far-fetched or anything. Yeah.
She wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
So she had chocolate on her face, and he points that out.
He's very unlikable.
Who, her?
Him. I didn't find him charming in the least.
Because then she's trying to talk to him, and she's like, "How long have you been carpentering?" And he shames her for that.
Yeah.
Like he laughs in her face. And then he shames her because he's like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "I'm a dancer." And then first he looks at her like she's a stripper, which there's nothing wrong with that.
No. Could have used more of that in this movie.
Right. And then he's like, "Oh, a diva." So he's like judging her, and he gives that he gave that condescending look that people give sometimes, which I've received when people are when I tell people, they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm an actor." and they give like a condescending look, and I'm like, no, I actually work. It's my job.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's like an actual job.
Or someone in your extended family says, "Oh, you're doing that again? Excuse me, I didn't stop doing it."
Right.
That's rude too.
I agree.
Say extended family member?
Right.
I don't think I listen.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Are they not in prison?
I don't. If they don't know what I'm doing, they're not aware of this podcast. You don't look too far. Anyway, let's not get into that. So yes, he's shaming her. That's rude.
Right. And she could have looked at him and said, "You have ugly highlights in your hair."
Yeah, he did.
And a grimace.
Grimace?
And a grimace on your face.
That's always been Chad Michael Murray's
scowl.
thing, though. He always had that scowl.
Yeah, I guess that.
So he just grimaced. Like, I never saw his TV show, so he just grimaced on that TV show.
Well, he was at Gilmore Girls, which I did watch, and Tristan, I think his character was, and he was like this rich a-hole prep school kid that always gave Rory a hard time. But I think if he had stuck around the show for another season, they would have found a way to get them together romantically. But then he got his own show. He got One Tree Hill,
and so he grimaced away.
Crimson is like, the shoot's going too long today.
Well, he should have said that in this
now.
movie.
I'm gonna have a puss on.
So she's like, "Well, why are you helping my parents?" And he was like, "When I moved to town, your parents made me feel welcome." Then he gets to her house. They say like an awkward goodbye. She goes into her sister's house, and her sister basically has a shrine to her career.
Yeah.
And then her sister shamed her for not visiting enough. So she's basically just getting shamed this entire day.
There were a lot of people shaming each other in this movie. There, like later on in the movie, there's a news reporter that kind of shames people that she's interviewing.
Yeah. So she's like, "Well, why didn't you come and visit more?" And she's like, "Because I was happy dancing, and I have a seasonal job, so I'm dancing during the holidays."
One piece of Oh, go ahead, Kurt. Sorry.
She should be honest. She could say, "Because I was happy without you people."
Right.
Yeah. One thing one piece of shade I did love in this, though, is that the sister starts asking about like her ride with Luke, and Ashley's basically like, "Hey, women can be happy without finding a man. Like, I'm my own person. I can even vote now."
Right.
I did like that they acknowledged that, yet the entire movie, they're still trying to force these two together that don't really have any chemistry.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But then she uses men. She objectifies the men.
As one should.
Benefit.
Yes.
Well, I'm
There's
saying,
nothing wrong with that.
Is this what she thinks? Is this how she views men?
There's nothing wrong with that, Kurt.
No, nothing.
I've objectified a few men in my day.
And frankly, if you'd like to objectify me, go for it.
Yeah, seriously. Especially if you're dropping money like they dropped in this movie to objectify these guys.
How much did they drop? Did we even know what they charged for this show once they get into it?
Yeah, they said
$30.
$30, right?
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they charged $30. Plus tips.
Actually, were there any tips? Didn't see anyone getting any tips. There's no mention of it whatsoever.
Nobody got paid because it all went to finance the anyway.
Yeah.
So this is why we had a strike a few years ago.
Yeah, this is why. Yeah.
These strippers need to unionize.
Yeah, we're not getting paid anything.
Oh, so they're talking about dating and how she's not having any luck in dating, and then she said like her rule is no showbiz guys. And then her sister, she's like to her sister, like, "Remember you dated that surgeon?" And the sister was like, "Well, actually, I have to confess, he wasn't a surgeon, he was a stripper." Who a doctor was one of his
it was his shtick, yeah.
He'd show up as a doctor, and he'd be like, and then he'd start stripping, and then start playing like a boombox, and then start stripping.
Think about that. Like if you're a stripper and your shtick is the cop or whatever it is, like you're still playing that character a little bit when you show up. So the women are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be arrested by the cop. So if a guy shows up and his shtick is he's a surgeon, is he like pull that out a scalpel? The fuck's he doing?
Probably.
Yeah. He puts some anesthesia. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he does that. That would be an anesthesiologist.
Well,
That'd
no,
be
that's a
that would
crime.
get problematic.
I do think
anesthesiologist stripper.
I do think his like at one point he does have to use the phrase, I'm going to have to give you an injection.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So then Mark walks into the room, and he had this cute. I wrote a note. He's wearing this cute yellow V-neck, which I've got to get for myself. So I took a picture of the V-neck.
Oh, good.
Wait, who's Mark?
It was very cute.
Oh, your
Mark
friend.
Roger. That's my friend Mark. Roger.
Call him up and ask him if he could loan you some of his clothes. Could you loan me that sweater you wore in that movie?
Well, no, because Mark is a lot taller than I am.
Oh, okay. You won't be able to reach him.
Well, he should take the shirt off and give it to you.
Yeah.
Put that sweater in the Mark, put that sweater in the wash and shrink it a little bit.
Exactly.
And then bring it over here.
So then, oh wait, okay, I have a question. So what was the vault?
I don't know, but it sounds.
Because I wrote the vault for some reason.
Oh, man. The vault. Sounds like a sex
anyway.
club.
That's
That's what they should have opened. They should have opened a sex club. All right.
I will say the biggest flaw of this movie, in my opinion, is if you're gonna do a movie about drawing people to this bar by objectifying these guys and having them be shirtless and dancing, it needed to be sexier. It needed to be just a little bit raunchy, just a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Ashley finds her parents' past due bills, in that she's at the Rhythm Lounge, and she finds her parents' past due bills. There's a lot of past due bills, and
it's because she's talking to the real estate agent and realizes her parents are about $30,000 in debt.
Denise.
Yeah, that's the landlady.
Yeah,
she owns the place.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So she's walking to the bar, like she's in the bar and she's walking towards the bar, and she startles Luke, and Luke is shirtless.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
He was underneath and his shirt got wet. Which, look, of all the things they wrote into the script, that is one of the ones I applauded.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you just keep your shirt on? Because aren't you going to get really cold?
I mean, he stupidly puts it back on, which we didn't get that.
Let's stay warm.
So Denise says that there's a juice bar that wants to take over the lease.
Squeeze Me, it's called.
And be a giant fucking juice bar, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was like a small town.
Small town, but also like that's. I mean, if the space that like used to host like rock bands and crowds that would come to a rock band, like you're not going to need to fill that many people into a juice bar.
Also, Denise says that her parents are 6 months behind on rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ashley was like, well, I actually have a show, and it's a male dance review. And Luke is going to be in it. And she's like, and it's called The Merry Gentleman. And she's just like, this is kind of like a George Glass situation where she just thought of it off the top of her head.
Who's George Glass?
From the Brady Bunch?
From the Brady Bunch.
George Glass?
Jan Brady's fake boyfriend who wasn't actually fake.
I don't remember any George Glass.
There's an episode, a great episode of the Brady Bunch where Jan keeps talking about how she's got a boyfriend. His name is George Glass, and she keeps saying his name over and over again. And like nobody believes that she actually has a boyfriend. They all think Jan's lying. Turns out he's real.
I thought you were talking about the Glass Menagerie. It wasn't the family. The family wasn't there's the family whose name were Glass, right? Was that the last name?
No, that was not their name.
No, it wasn't. Well, where's the Glass family?
And then they reference George Glass in Bridesmaids as well, because Kristen Wiig claims to have a boyfriend named George Glass.
The Glass.
That's funny.
Todd Glass. Oh no, the Glass family is a J.D. Salinger writes about the Glass family. That's what I'm thinking of. All right, but that's not what you're talking about. All right.
No.
And by the way, I don't think J.D. Salinger's Glass family. There's no way that's more obscure than what you're talking about. Jan Brady's boyfriend.
I completely disagree. George Glass in pop culture is a very, very, very well-known reference.
But in literature, people know J.D. Salinger's Glass family. It just I knew there's a Glass family. I knew it was in the literature.
I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying that George Glass is a very well-known piece of pop culture.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not. Okay. We can ask. We're going to have somebody associated with the Brady Bunch on the show. She's coming on as a guest.
Yes.
So we're going to ask her. She was married.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm going to ask her. If
she's later in the canon, though.
Doesn't matter. She's in that group.
Yeah.
She heard family talking, and so I'm going to ask her if she. Well, ask her if she knows more of the Glass family of J.D. Salinger or this George Glass. You
forget that I have cornered Maureen McCormick in the bathroom of a gay bar.
All right, we'll bring that up as well when we have her on the show. She's going to regret coming on. I think she'll have fun. All right, we look forward to her. A future episode. Stay tuned, everybody.
Yes.
So, they have to raise $30,000 by the 30th of December.
Mm-hmm.
And so she recruits Mark, aka Roger. She recruits the cute bartender and grimacing Luke. And that's going to be the dance review. And then she has there's a dance rehearsal montage.
Yeah. This is, I didn't understand how all of these guys, none of them were known to be dancers. None of them known to want to be like, taking off their shirt for everyone. And they're all just immediately on board with this like boneheaded idea to form a dance troupe. Like there's no pushback whatsoever.
None.
No having to convince these guys. No like finding a raw talent they didn't know they had. None of it.
Mm-hmm. No, and a couple of these guys were good too.
Yeah.
Troy, the bartender, probably why he was cast because his physique, he looks like something created from AI. Yeah. And his dancing was good, and the guy that we haven't spoken about yet, he's good too. He's a good dancer.
Well, Maxwell Caulfield has literally done like Broadway and stuff. So
guys, they must be gymnasts. It's like Jesus. But that guy Troy, the bartender, he always had a look on his face as if a car was about to hit him.
So the part of the montage I liked is when they were doing the measurement for Luke, and it was her sister or someone was doing the measurement for Luke. Her sister. And Ashley walked up and said, "His eyes are up there."
Yeah, because her sister's got like the clothing tape measure, like the cloth kind, and she's like, Luke is shirtless, and she just like her face is like right in his very perfect abs, just right there.
And she's like, his eyes are up there. I thought that was funny.
That was funny.
And then she's teaching them how to dance. And then she tells them all, of course, to remember to have fun. And then it's opening night, and Luke is having a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to do a showbiz trick, which I have actually done myself. And she's like, if you're feeling nervous, look out in the audience and find a friendly face.
Yeah, I appreciate that kind of advice and that kind of. This reminded me. I was this scene reminded me that I was in a show years ago where there was a woman who was in the show, one of the actors in the show. Right before the show was going to start, she just said, "I can't do it. I cannot do it," and she didn't.
Wow.
Wait, so what did you do?
She it was a show of different vignettes, so she kind of some small role. Her role's relatively small, but she had roles throughout the show. So one of her roles, somebody did it, another actor did her lines off stage, like as a voiceover, and then she had a bigger role in another vignette. So what happened was the director got herself all dressed up, and she got on stage and she played the role.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then did she quit after that?
No, she did. Well, yeah, it was a short run. It was a college show, so it ran like 4 or 5 times, whatever. I think the first show she was able to do, it was like an afternoon show, and then when it got to the evening show, she's like, I can't do this. I can't do it.
I'm lucky I never really got stage fright when I was still doing that kind of stuff, but I don't think seeing someone I know and locking eyes with them while I was on stage would have comforted me. In fact, it would probably put me in my head more.
Well, no, that's the thing. For me, it couldn't be someone who I knew. It had to be like a stranger.
Right.
But just that thought of like seeing a stranger enjoying themselves, so you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, like a friendly stranger. Because if it was a friend, then I'd be worried about impressing the friend.
Right.
And then yeah. But wait, so then she came back and did other shows later?
I don't think so, but I did take an acting class and she was in that. So she was working through it, because that's what the director said to her. She says, because she was also the acting teacher at the school, and she said, well, we'll work through it. So
I'd be like, get out.
She was older too, because it was a college. She was older than the rest of us.
So she can't join the Jingle Bells. She gets scared on stage.
No, but I get it, because it is really hard sometimes.
No, I get it.
That's
the only time that way. I'm like, but you got to do it anyway.
Well, I don't know. Like, if I was a director, you'd have to figure something out. You have to be like, come on, you could do this. You could do. I don't know what I would do.
Anyway, so they're dancing, but they have an audience, but there's just not that. There's not a lot of people, but they do have an audience.
After this first performance, after it's over, they make a big deal about like what a crowd it was. I'm like, it was all the regulars that have already been coming to the bar.
Right.
Like, how is this going to save it if these people are already spending money there? You need new people there to make money.
Right. But that's how pathetic the bar was.
Yeah.
Michael Gross was kind of into it, surprisingly. I don't know what's going on there.
After the 60s, things were different then.
So Denise hits all
tremors.
Oh,
who? Oh, the landlady.
Yeah.
Yes. So then they have an after party, and Luke proposes a toast to Ashley. He gives her a necklace
of a gold wreath, because that's how they met, except it wasn't a fucking wreath, it was a garland.
Well, maybe the strand of the necklace was supposed to represent the garland.
And then he offers to walk her home, and they go for pizza, and then they're walking home, and he's like, tell me about yourself. And then she's like, tell me about yourself. And then Luke is divorced, and he says his marriage was a disaster, and they moved to town. He moved to town for his ex.
I should point out, they never actually say he's divorced. They say they moved there together and she left, but we don't know if she's alive anymore. We don't know if they're divorced.
True.
Oh, they could be just separated. We don't know who she is.
Yeah, he could have had her killed.
Yeah, this could have been an episode of Elsbeth.
Man, Elsbeth should be paying us.
Seriously.
You mentioned that every show.
I love her. So they walk up to Santa, and Santa asks them, have you been naughty or nice? Wow. And then they took a picture, And then Santa's like, give me your best ho, ho, ho.
How
And Ashley
small
turned around
was
and said,
this
"What'd you
small
call me?"
town?
Not that small. I said when there was like an
Not
overhead
that
shot,
small.
it looked kind of congested.
Because they kept talking about it being a small town and making it seem like that, because that's what these types of movies, it's always set in a small town. But like, they had a place that was open for pizza after the bar closed with this strip show. So the pizza place is open late, and Santa is out on the street taking photos late. Like, what kids are out there getting their photo with Santa at like 1 a.m?
And she said the pizza place like rivaled New York pizza. Like she said it was almost as good as New York pizza, which that's,
Yeah, I'd like to know where they are, because I highly doubt that. This is Fantasyland. Yeah. And I also was thinking about why that she shouldn't have been such a panic that she lost this job, because now she's talking about, I don't know if I still miss performing. Look, the jingle balls or jingle the jingle bells. The Jingle Balls is not the only act in town. If she's in a Broadway show, she could probably get commercials, and she could probably do like at least a touring show.
Well, I think part of that is probably since it was so sudden.
And it was a steady gig for her for 12 years. Like she never had to really worry about chasing other jobs because she had this consistent job every year. She should have had a commercial agent. I would think if you're in New York and you're in a regular Broadway show, you could reasonably get a commercial agent. Yeah, I would hope. But she does have that vertigo where she keeps falling. So she's just an insurance risk everywhere she goes. Yeah, I guess so. They can't afford the insurance. Well, maybe she should leave. She can't. I mean, if she can't pull off getting a commercial agent being on a Broadway show for 12 years. Oh, I don't know. Who knows? I know it's a tough business. Yeah.
Well, she admitted that, for someone who's been on stage, she doesn't like watching other people, but she says that they were actually enjoyable. And it turns out that they made $2,200 from their first show.
Well, we find this out through my favorite.
You can speak up.
My favorite unbelievably dumb recurring detail in this movie is this super expensive and elaborate chalkboard that Ashley put together to just track the debt her parents are in. It gets more absurd every time they show it, and it was so dumb.
Yeah.
They're also going out to eat a lot for people who, well, I don't know, maybe the parents.
Well, but the sister owned the diner, though.
But they're having, they weren't get the pizza at the diner. These people have money problems, and she's like, I'm going to go buy a rollaway chalkboard, and I'm going to need some craft supplies from Michael's because I'm going to do this thing up.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she had her mom make a bûche de Noël.
What? Now that looked like a log.
It's a U-log. Isn't a bûche de Noël basically a U-log?
Yes. Yeah. It looked good.
They made it. Yeah.
They had a whole baking.
De Noël. Yeah.
So now you all know how I love a montage.
Mm-hmm.
This movie had way too many unnecessary montages.
They were filling time.
Too much.
Because they had a baking montage, why we didn't need to see that.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with anything. I didn't see anyone even eating this log.
No.
It did look good, though. So, yeah, so Ashley and her mom were at the diner, and then
its look had a hint of defecation.
Yeah.
A hint.
It did look a little bit like somebody should probably take a look at their fiber intake.
Yeah, that's definitely going to go right through somebody.
Oh, so the review came out. So yeah, this is how big the town is. Like they're getting reviewed.
Oh, this is like the New York Times. Who's that famous New York Times reviewer? He used to write. I think they moved to this small town, quote, small town.
Because they got a good review, and then she's standing in the diner talking to her sister, and her cab driver walks in, and he's just like being an idiot, like just dancing.
That was weird.
In the middle of the room, just being like an idiot.
Okay, it was Ben Brantley. He was the famous theater critic for the New York
When he
Times.
moved to a small town.
Yeah, Ben Brantley was the chief theater critic for the New York Times for more than 20 years, and yeah, he must.
Where'd he move?
He moved to this small town, and he saw this show at the male strippers.
So they see the cab driver just dancing like an idiot in the middle of the diner, and they give him a gig.
Again, are they paying him?
No, and why was the guy dancing? He showed up in the lobby, and they're like, "What's
I think
wrong
he had like his
police?"
earphones in, and he was just sort of like bopping along in the beat,
like breakdancing.
And don't get me wrong, whoever the guy's playing this part, he could dance.
He could.
Him and
he
the
was good.
bartender, they were good. I thought the other people were doing the best they could.
I didn't understand plot-wise why they needed to rope this guy in later, like why he wasn't part of the initial crop.
Right, because with 3 they weren't bad.
No.
I liked the song, the "I Want a Man for This Christmas" song that they played when he joined.
Yeah. I will say the music, normally the music in these things is pretty like painful because it just doesn't sound as good as real music does. But these all sounded like, oh, this could be a song that I could hear on the radio. Okay.
They came up with a lot of their own holiday songs.
Yeah.
Because
just smart.
Those neat.
The I Want a Man for Christmas sounded a lot like the Weather Girl.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was the 80s night. Was this the 80s night? Yeah. So they were Chippendales. Yeah. I guess that's Chippendales from the 80s.
Yeah.
And Michael Gross once again had a boner. He had tremors.
He had a Yule log.
He was
a Yule log. He had a what a bush. What is it called?
He had an Alex Peen.
I'm trying to say it. Alex P. Beaton. He was. Man, I'll tell you one thing. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I was gonna say Meredith Baxter Burney.
Well,
she turned her with his.
She's on our team now.
Yeah, she is.
She was on my team, and then she turned to your team. She was on the straight people team. I don't know. Maybe she was never on the straight people team. Although she did used to date the guy from the Tortellis, like Mr. Tortelli.
Ooh.
What?
Mr.
Dan Hedaya?
Yeah.
Wait, Nick Tortelli she dated?
Yes. She absolutely did.
Meredith Baxter Burney and Nick Tortelli.
Before or after David Burney?
I don't know. Because after.
Wow. So Cher's mom from Clueless. Or dad from Clueless, rather.
Dan, he was in the Addams Family, and he was
he was in Clueless.
Yeah.
He played Alicia Silverstone's dad in Clueless.
Okay. I don't know if this is public. I assume this is public knowledge. I know because I knew his cousin. His cousin told me that. So maybe this is breaking news that we're putting out there.
A lifetime of Hallmark exclusive.
I hope I don't get sued. Be weird.
Okay, so allegedly.
What's going on?
Allegedly.
I'm being sued by Mr. Tortelli for I said that he had a relationship with Baxter Burney.
Picture like Meredith Baxter's agent is like, why is she trending online today? People are talking about her. Like, what's going on?
I'll tell you what. I have a class reunion coming up. I wouldn't mind them suing me. Then I have something exciting. Whoa, Kurt!
Yeah, like
you've made it. We heard that Meredith Baxter Burney's suing you. Well, yeah, I don't like to talk about myself.
Oh, so they had a sold out show, but then Mark hurt his leg.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need another dancer.
He said he might do it in a chair.
Yeah. And they were like, and they're like, what are we going to do? And then Maxwell Caulfield was like, I'll do it. And he jumped in.
I did think the way he jumped in was hilarious to me because this guy has been sitting there watching their show, like sitting there in his fedora, just doing his crosswords while they're doing this like mail review. He's there every week. And then the minute Mark is injured, he not only is Maxwell Caulfield there, he is there in the outfit, shirtless, ready to go, knows all the moves.
Dude, he's like Les Brown. You know that guy,
Yeah.
Les Brown, where he's like in the radio station. He worked as a janitor in the radio station. He was waiting for like one of the DJs to get sick or something like that, so he could jump in.
My theory is that he actually set Mark up for the fall so he could join the group.
He had marbles like on Showgirls.
Yeah. These people in this movie are clumsy in general.
He pushed him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was Maxwell Caulfield. I thought he looked like the judge from Ghostbusters 2. Remember that guy, the Scolari brothers. You ever saw that, Jason?
I've seen it, but literally when it came out in the theater.
The Scolari brothers. Yeah, that guy. Anyway, that's what's happening.
So now they're at the diner and Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said now they've raised $19,000.
And we know that from the most elaborate set of Christmas-themed bar graphs taped onto a chalkboard, a device that is famously not necessarily used to tape things onto because you can draw on it with chalk.
Right.
Yeah.
These millennials.
Like a corkboard would have done fine.
So she's talking with Troy, and then Troy lets it slip about Luke, and she finds out that Luke's wife left him, which I don't know what the big deal was.
Yeah, but they're also watching the news broadcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead with that.
Well, no, the woman says, you're the hot, was it? They're the hottest act in town. But then she's like, oh, and your family must be proud. Like,
and then she kind of like makes a face. Like she totally is judging them.
Mm-hmm. And they're a little bothered by it, but not that much. And she should be ashamed. I was writing this before in our thread. She should be ashamed for not being an objective broadcaster.
Right.
But then again, that's a big problem these days.
It truly is.
Oh, yeah. But the fact that they're getting like news coverage now is helping them. And like I said, they sold out. They're selling out their shows now.
Yuki Washington and here at Philly, he does a good job.
So I didn't know, but so like I said, I didn't know what the big deal was that who left who.
I don't know. I don't even understand who left who.
The wife left. He moved there for the wife.
The wife wanted to move there, and then immediately is like, actually, I want to go back to the city. So she bounces. He's like, well, I want to stay.
Oh, wow. Well, why do we even have to know that? What difference does that work into? Do we meet the wife?
No. There are no stakes whatsoever surrounding this guy's life.
Did they need to fill time? Is that what this is?
I guess.
Yes.
All right.
But like I said, the scenes were too long, so they really didn't.
Okay, here's my advice for them. This is what, because nobody else is going to tell them this. So Netflix, if you're making one of these movies, it's okay if it's just an hour. If that's all you got is an hour, just put out an hour. It's fine. It doesn't have to be programmed anywhere. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. They needed to hear it.
So then the sister is at the diner and she made Luke's lunch, and she shames Ashley into taking him his lunch.
Well, there's also some ordering around. They hear this is what you're doing. That's I guess I am. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So she delivers the lunch.
No wonder she didn't visit.
And then they start dancing. Then they start kissing.
Yeah.
Like that's some lunch.
That's like some porn level kissing too.
Yeah. There were a few moments in this movie where I'm like, they are about to fuck.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. And he's still grimacing though.
Yeah.
So they're close to their goal. And Ashley's really happy. They're close to the goal. And then all of a sudden, Ashley gets a call from Meredith.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, there's hey, Meredith. And then,
oh, good, Meredith. You got another day's work out of this. Good.
Right. And I liked Meredith's. I liked the pearls that Meredith was wearing.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so this is ridiculous. Because she's like, this bitch, that the girl that replaced her, like, is already burned out.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there for what, 2 weeks?
Well, she had Yeah, she didn't have the energy. She's like, what's that movie I was talking about last week with the guy from Top Gun? Oh, never mind.
Tom Cruise?
Glenn Powell.
No.
Yeah, the one with Glenn Powell and Sydney
Powell.
Sweeney.
She says in that movie, she tells Glenn Powell, he's hot guy fit.
Mhm.
Was that right? Hot guy fit. So he didn't have energy. Like he couldn't swim, but he looks good.
Oh yeah.
You ever hear such a thing?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what she
I know
was.
some guys that are hot guy fit.
Yeah.
So she's hot girl fit. Or wasn't she even hot? I guess she was all right. Anyway, she didn't have enough energy to do the show.
And especially since you're like, this is a seasonal job. You're going to be done on probably New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Elf goes to about the first weekend, of the year.
Yeah.
So it's a month. It's a month of work.
Like
But
a month and a half.
they're trying to
They're
bring
starting
back Ashley, and they offer her job back, and it's a 3-year contract and a 25% pay raise.
And I wrote, take it.
Yeah, this is where I found the movie interesting because I don't care about the relationships and all this crap and the power dynamics and the manipulation. I don't care about all this garbage. I was interested in this part here when they're making life decisions because she's got to understand you do have to weigh things out. I understand that. But very few people do get an opportunity to be on Broadway. That's a real, what do you call it, brass ring.
And it's a seasonal job. So you could go and you could do your month or whatever, and then you don't have to go back until rehearsals probably start in like September.
Well, yeah, I was thinking this was like an around the year thing too. So that's really doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
She can go back and forth.
She was very much in a negotiating position where she should have asked for even more because they needed her back because she knew all the moves and they could plug her right into the show. That's why they're offering more money. If I were her, I would have been like, it's a 4-year contract. It's 35% more. And I get, something else. I get a producer credit, whatever it is. She could have negotiated for more.
Right.
And Meredith would have given it to her.
She should have. She should have told Meredith, I need 3 chalkboards and I need a team of people building unnecessary graphs on these that look like chimneys. I would like a laser light show.
Yeah.
Get some weird Star Wars 3D AI thing going on. She doesn't even need chalkboards anymore.
Oh my God, a diorama graph? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
So Meredith is like, I need you here tomorrow. And not only did Ashley take it, Ashley's parents were like encouraging about it. And they're like, good for you for taking it.
No, they didn't think she should take it.
They initially, but they immediately came around.
Okay. Yeah, because at the end they were like, no, good for you, because you don't get opportunities like this very often.
You don't, and I've heard stories about people when they're young, people are like really young, they get some big opportunity and they turn it down, thinking that these are going to be like a dime a dozen. But the truth is, a lot, maybe most people, you don't even get one big opportunity. Like if you get a big opportunity, you've got to say yes.
Right.
Now, I know she's been doing this for a while, but see, I would say, okay, well, I would think if she wanted to have kids, like if she was actually in a relationship, like a solid relationship, she wanted to have kids, then that might be something that I would understand somebody considering, but she's not in that position.
Right. And because I think it was the dad that was like, take the gig, live your life for you. I was like, good for yay, Dad.
Even if she wanted kids, she could plan around that. Again, it's a seasonal job.
If it's seasonal, I didn't think it was seasonal, so I thought it was like around.
That only she could get pregnant and have the kid and be done in time to go back.
Yeah.
With this kind of gig, so I don't understand this. So whoever's making this movie, you should explain yourselves. Where's Meredith? Maybe she knows these people.
Yeah. I'm sure she knows the creators of the movie.
Yeah, have a good kid. She can get pregnant, have the kid, and be done.
Well, tell them they have some explaining to do. Imagine that. Hi, this is Meredith. I know you cast me in your movie. You have some explaining to do.
And okay, so then, and this is why I hate like guys in these movies sometimes, because then she goes and she tells Luke, guess what? I got my old job back. And he like grimaces and it's like, what about me? What about me? What about me and my grimacing face and my highlights?
What a dick. All they did was make out a couple times. I mean, what? I don't get it.
It's like, it's a seasonal job, you asshole.
Also, like, Curtis said this in the chat earlier. She didn't need to be there for the performances. She's not in the show.
She directed it. Yeah.
But still.
Are they doing a different show every night, too?
No.
It seems like no. Okay, so you got your show. The show's directed. It's set.
Yeah, it's not like John M. Chu is going to every screening of Wicked to make sure that the color correction is right on every screen. Like, she doesn't need to be there.
No, someone I know was in Phantom of the Opera, and they said that like Lloyd Lindsay Young, Andrew Lloyd Webber would show up like once a year.
Yeah,
he'd show up once a year. He'd give a whole bunch of feedback. He'd work with them for like maybe a couple of days. That's it. He's gone.
And she had been dating this guy for 3 weeks.
Oh,
not even
3 weeks.
Oh,
so she's known him. She'd known him for 3 weeks, and he's like, "Give up your life goals for me."
Does he go to a salon and they put tinfoil in his hair and all that stuff?
Yes.
And he's telling somebody they're a big city girl.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a big city girl.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I think so. Jesus, what happened to me?
He was on One Tree Hill, and that tree looks like a penis.
Right?
What? What looks like a penis?
That tree from One Tree Hill.
I never saw that show. I don't even know what that is.
The WB show that Chad Michael Murray starred in.
Yes. So all of a sudden, the dancers are getting attitudes too, and they're like fighting backstage.
They're getting bitchy.
Yes.
And I do think the bartender, I do enjoy that he's trying to act. It's charming. God bless his little soul. Yeah, I mean, that's not his strong point, but he's trying. I like him. He's my favorite character.
and then Grimace is the one that's like trying to broker peace between all of them.
Well, he wasn't trying to broker peace.
Grimace.
He like took over, and he's like, again, none of these guys have any kind of performance experience. So why is now Luke in charge of this?
Right.
They're like the monkeys in a way. They get like, cast. They're actors. They get cast another. But again, they did have some experience, I think.
But it would be like if the producers and directors of the Monkees just walked off set one day and Mickey Dolenz decided, I'm in charge now. If I'm Davy Jones, I'd be pissed too.
Walking down the street.
I would go to Davy Jones' locker. I saw Mickey Dolenz one time because I went to see The Tonight Show. I was in L.A. some years ago. And he was there. He was in the audience, like he was waiting in line with the rest of us. He was there to see the show. He's the only living monkey.
Oh, that's right. Because who was the one that his mom invented like whiteout?
Peter Tork.
Michael Nesmith. Yeah. No, that's Michael Nesmith. I think not Peter Tork.
Like they're all doing a reunion. They were all doing reunion shows, and he's like, "Fuck this! My mom created Whiteout. I'm good."
He had a production company too. Yeah. Michael Nesmith was him. Unless I'm wrong.
Could you imagine?
I think I'm right.
My parents created Whiteout.
Nesmith. Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah. The traffic in this town was like LA traffic.
It certainly was when she was trying to get to the airport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What airport was this? What is this? Dallas Airport?
Wasn't the town called like Sycamore or something?
It began with an S.
Sycamore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
San Francisco. I mean, it was some large city. Well, they weren't.
I mean, it was somewhere that had snow. I know that.
Because for a minute, I thought she was back in New York. For like a hot second.
Yeah, it did seem like it.
until he's like, we're still trying to get to the airport. It's going to take us a half hour. And so,
and this does fly in the face of her being shamed earlier in the movie for suggesting she wanted to get an Uber. Because if they have that much traffic and congestion in this town, then it would seem to be a viable option to have Uber there.
Right. Exactly. So then we're at the show and Luke is there, and all of a sudden Ashley comes back. And I was like, oh, Ashley. And
I comes back. Luke sees her, and it's like he becomes possessed, like the devil, like he's Linda Blair live on stage.
Because right before that, he had a meltdown because she wasn't there, and he stopped the music.
Oh, Luke, please.
And these women were horny for Christmas Eve.
Oh,
yes.
I got something to put in a stocking.
Yeah.
But Luke, now, I assume with Luke's behavior, he's 14 years old, right, in this movie?
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, then Luke says, she says, I turned down Jingle Bells.
And I was like, you fool.
He's like, well, you're a damn fool. We could have kept doing this show.
She's going to get sued, right?
Oh, totally.
Because she told this big Broadway production, yes, I accept your offer. They send her first class ticket to fly her back to New York. So she had to have signed some documents by this point.
Yes. And you know what? I've never seen Meredith Thomas yell ever. But I bet Meredith yelled at her for that.
Oh, Meredith would have deserved to yell, because Meredith even said that she pulled some strings to make this happen. Meredith actually was on her side.
Yes.
Since we know Meredith, we should write her a little scene and have her, we'll get her to film a little scene on Zoom and write her saying, you cunt. I'm gonna. She's like, I'm gonna sue you so hard, your parents are gonna be. I'm gonna sue you so hard, your parents and Michael Gross are gonna be sharing a cardboard box. You're gonna be sorry you ever fucked with me.
Well, it is Netflix.
Yeah,
so they can say that.
She'd be up for it. We'll have to write her afterwards. Then he says,
I would also like that scene to somehow garner her an Emmy, even though it's not actually officially commissioned by the movie, not supported by Netflix whatsoever. It somehow wins her an Emmy.
Yeah, we found this on some weird podcast Instagram, but we like this so much, we're nominating for an Emmy. Hey, but then Luke says, giving up all self-respect, he says, I found my friendly face. Now, I actually drew a little picture of a man throwing up. See that? It's a little head vomiting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was how I felt about that. And I wasn't feeling so great. My stomach was kind of rumbling before that, so. Okay.
But in the end, they saved the rhythm room.
Well, yeah, but in this scene, so they're having this little heart-to-heart. He's still shirtless from the show, immediately runs to her. And then they start making out, and he lifts her up. So he's shirtless, lifts her up in the middle of the bar around all of her family. They're just going to bone right there in front of everyone.
For her mom.
Well, they have to outdo themselves with the strip club. Yeah, she basically turned the place into a male strip club.
Yeah.
Right.
So, to keep things going, you're probably going to have people who are going to be giving and getting hand jobs in the back, and all sorts of illicit things are probably going.
You think that didn't happen at the Rhythm Room?
Back in the day, but I think it's been a while. So it's good that they're back with people getting hand jobs in the back.
Yeah.
There's some dark, it's all going on.
Let's normalize getting a handy in a bar.
Yeah. It's I think they're bringing that back. So at least some old values are making their way back in 2024.
It is pretty wild. The only real glimmer of it we get is from that newscaster. there isn't 1 ounce of anyone in this town, anyone involved with this bar, ever being slightly sort of uncomfortable or at the very least questioning, like, are we doing the right thing by having this male strip show be the thing to revive the bar? Right. Nobody questions it.
Right.
No. And especially, the U.S. being a very Puritan nation. Most places this would become some kind of moral issue. And that would have been an interesting thing to add to the story, since they're looking for other things to put in to stretch it out. You could have had a church, like a local, morality group get together and protest.
Or at least like have the parents sort of like, they have a heart-to-heart with her, and they're like, I don't know, like, that we have this reputation as this other kind of bar. Are we sure this is the right way to go? And then ultimately decide, like, hey, we just want people to have like a fun, lively time. However that happens, what's wrong with that?
Well, I think you just wanted to mention heart to heart. It's you and heart to heart, and Les and this Elsbeth.
I'm Max. That's my boss.
There we go.
Mrs. Hot. Mr. Hot. He's that's his wife, Mrs. Hot. She's gorgeous.
This is the rhythm room.
Well, they
did have a little dog, like Freeway.
Yeah.
The Rhythm Nation.
You can get a handy in this bar.
I'm getting a hand job in the Rhythm Nation. How are they going to keep this going, by the way? Now, they got to $30,000. You got to. My understanding is you have to continually have an income to keep a place open.
I bet they're going to keep the strip show going.
Oh, they would. You absolutely keep that going.
Make it a sex club, like there's places in New Orleans. God, I was in one place. I don't know what was going on.
Tell us more.
It was so dark.
What? What was this?
I just walked down the street. I love New Orleans. I walked down the street and I went in this bar, and I don't know what was going on. And I was like, and I think I said to the bartender, I can't see the people here. Is this like all guys? And he's like, what? And I said, never mind. I was gonna sit and have like a soda or something, but I was like, people were all around, they were doing something, but it was very dark and I couldn't even see. And I thought, well, maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on here.
I love the wholesomeness of you went into what you're pretty sure is a sex club, but you decided that you wanted to order a soda.
Right? And you're like,
or something.
Guys.
Probably. Yeah, I think I did ask that. I was like, because I was kind of timid once I was actually in there. I wasn't going to partake. I was like, I didn't know what, I was just like, what's, yes, is this guys? He's like, what are you asking? I was like, oh, never mind.
That's funny. I like that. Is this all guys? I still remember once, in Chicago, when I purposely showed up late and had Kurt waiting for me in a gay bar.
That was such a harmless place, though.
Which bar?
Oh, it was Sidetracks.
Oh, I like Sidetracks. I went there over the summer. First time ever. It was great. Huge.
Yeah.
Well, I told you,
Kurt's been to Sidetracks. Kurt's been to Roscoe's.
Remember Cincinnati Fringe? I've told this story before. Cincinnati Fringe, every night they had a different bar, and one night it was a gay bar. So I walked through and some guy just like grabbed me and said, "Hey, I'm taking you home." I was like, and this was like the year I met you last. In fact, I met you there.
Yes.
And I'm like, and he says, "What are you doing here?" I said, I'm just in the Fringe Festival." He goes, "What makes you fringy?" I have to go. Yeah.
What makes you fringy?
Yeah.
What makes you fringy?
Yeah.
Oh, so on Christmas, I love it. So the next day is Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. So they're all sitting around, like everybody's there.
First, before you even see people there, the first thing I noticed when it was Christmas Day, she walks in and the chalkboard is there, but it's covered.
Right, because,
Okay,
it's Christmas, so you can't,
She's still getting used out of it.
Well, there's going to be a reveal. I just knew something was coming.
Oh, okay.
Well, I love that it's Christmas Day. Denise does not give a fuck. She's like, I want my money.
No. Ashley called her there. Denise didn't just show up on Christmas. Ashley actually called her to come.
But still, wouldn't it be like, hey, Ashley, it's Christmas. I'll take the money. I know tomorrow's Boxing Day, but I'll just take it tomorrow,
Oh no, I'd take that money. You don't know if she's going to offer it again.
Yeah. Like
Not to mention-
they owe her 6 months of back rent, and now they're not going to vacate. Like if I'm her, I want that money now to make sure that that check's going to clear.
Yeah. I'll take that tomorrow. Plus, they invited her to dinner, and
Yeah.
she didn't know she was invited to dinner. She could have already eaten.
Yeah.
She
Or had
was
other
touched.
plans.
Well, Denise was way too touched though, so I guess she didn't.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh. No, I don't
She was
think so.
very like, "Oh my gosh, you're inviting me to dinner?"
Are there going to be
So-
bar graphs and hand jobs?
Right?
Well, of course. You're in the rhythm room.
Well, there were a couple of the strippers were single.
I
Which one,
actually, I actually thought in this moment they were somehow going to hook Denise up with Maxwell Caulfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was a little younger, wasn't she? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
but whatever.
Not well,
It could work.
He's not that much older.
She wasn't like 20 something, and he wasn't like
Like in her-
70.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was like in her 40s.
Yeah.
All right.
And so they have dinner.
Yep.
And then that was it, right?
Well, then they walk around outside. She said she doesn't know what's next.
Wait, there was
And
there
then-
was a moment inside that I have to point out. It was probably an ad lib, but like when they're all toasting, somebody said eyes, eyes. You know, when you're toasting people, you're
Oh, that's
supposed
right,
to
I
like
heard that.
Yeah.
you're supposed
Yeah.
to lock eyes with them, because if you don't, it's supposed to mean 7 years of bad sex. So this
Jesus.
family was all reminding each other, hey, make sure you lock eyes with me so you can go fuck later.
Man,
Right.
this is
There you go.
wild. Man,
There you go.
that's crazy. These people are really horny.
Yeah.
They need to calm down a little bit. Calm down. Even Michael Gross was getting a little too much. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's healthy. But then the movie becomes the Cannonball Run 2. They don't need to put these bloopers. They don't add much to it.
yeah, because the bloopers, I was like, oh wow, they think that they're like,
They're not. And I think they did this in another movie we saw recently.
They did that in Hot Frosty.
Yeah, it was also
Oh,
unnecessary.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they walk around outside at the end before that, and he says his favorite Christmas memory is now, even though that's not a memory. It's what's happening right now. And they kiss hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Les left.
No, he went to go look at his bar graphs.
Bar graphs, yeah. He's doing something. Les, where did you go?
He's
Oh, well,
decorating
it's
a
like-
chalkboard. He's I was about to say something really foul, but I won't say that.
No, I don't. Wait, there he is. He's back.
Les, were you decorating a chalkboard? Les?
We can't hear him.
We can
was
see him,
getting
we
his
cannot
plugs
hear
on.
him. He's being visited by a stripper.
I don't know. I will. Those listening at home, I guess you're happy with our sound quality. I was listening back to some of our episodes, like, oh, our sound, all the microphones sound good. Because a friend of mine who listened to the show, now he's, for whatever reason, he's taking a break. I don't think it's because of the quality, but he said, did Les ever get a better microphone? I was like, yeah.
Although apparently not.
Now we're
We
good.
can't hear him.
No, now we can't even hear him. So now we're back to square one.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
All right.
in time to tell people how to find you.
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Kirkendall. And I will have an announcement in the next couple of days. Actually, the next time we record, I will have an announcement about an upcoming show.
Are you joining
Jason.
Jingle Bells?
No,
Yes.
he's joining that male stripper view at the
Oh,
rhythm
okay.
room.
Okay. Well, if you want
I'm
to,
joining Jingle Bells.
please rate, review, and subscribe to a Lifetime of Hallmark podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Give it 5 stars. It helps more people find the show. You can find us all on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast, and on TikTok at Lifetime of Hallmark Pod. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing the role of the stage manager in an upcoming production of Our Town at the Rhythm Room. No. That might work. No, I don't have anything going on except I am in the Shelf Shedding Movie podcast, so you can check that out with Jason DeBrea. We did record that Scorsese episode, and the Oscar season will be coming next year. We'll be doing a lot of episodes regarding that, so look out.
Everyone, pay your SAG dues. You have until December 10th. You can get your screeners.
And I dissed Conclave, but now I'm hearing it's really good, so I'm probably going to regret that I dissed it. I haven't seen it.
I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it.
I saw Moana 2 last night.
I saw Wicked over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I'm going on Friday. What did you think, Jason?
I loved it. I am not precious about the musical. I saw it once years ago. I didn't even really remember it. Wizard of Oz, I think I've seen once in my life. So
only once?
I sort of didn't really have expectations. In fact, I went in with low expectations because I'd been hearing so many good things. I'm like, it can't really be that good. And it was. It blew me away. Fantastic. Visually and audibly just so stunning. Like, what a technical marvel it was. The performances were great. Like, it was really, really, really good.
I can't wait for the SAG Award talkbacks, because those, I'm sure they're going to have like wicked talkbacks with like Cynthia Erivo and stuff, and like Ariana. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
And everybody, so by the time you'll be listening to this, you will have already had Thanksgiving. So I hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. And I hope you ate a lot of turkey or whatever you eat. And this is now our busy season, which, that's right. We have a special guest star next week.
Well, if all goes well, December, we'll have a few guests.
Okay.
Right. It'll be Love Boat December.
We're excited.
Awesome.
All right. So I guess that's it. So bye.
What if everybody listens to the show? What if anybody listens to our show while they're having Thanksgiving? That'd be fun.
Yes.
Well, they won't, because this is coming out the day after.
Well, the previous episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like I said, if you're in a penitentiary, drop us a line. We want to know if you're listening.
Drop us a line, yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.